Welcome to the Callahan Connection, and we are doing something different today. We're outside the studio, and we've been watching these guys work very hard over the last 45 minutes to an hour, and we are at the Black Hat Brew Works, and it's my pleasure to be with Paul Mulcahy, the owner, and can you say chief cook and bottle watch? Chief cook and beer brewer.
Yes.
Yeah.
9 years ago when we opened, I was certainly the head brewer. As the years have gone on,
You were probably like the only guy at one point, getting started.
Yeah, it was myself, my brother, and a childhood friend. Started this all about 9 years ago, and things have evolved. Obviously, We started out on 15-gallon kettles. We upgraded to 30-gallon kettles, which was amazing a year later. And here we are 9 years later, and we brew on 500-gallon, a 15-barrel or 500-gallon brew system.
It all started with some home brews and a dream.
We set up a small makeshift brewery at my brother's house in Norton in a 12 by 12. Essentially, it's a shed. And we brewed for about 2.5 years developing our recipes. We are coming to you on our final brew day here in what has been Black Hat Brew Works.
Years in the making, and all that hard work is paying off.
It couldn't have worked out any better.
Residents now lining up every Friday and Saturday for a taste of Bridgewater's first microbrewery.
We try to do things a little different than most breweries that open up.
Paul Mulcahy runs Black Hat Brew Works. Brother Scott Galpin and longtime friend Jason Brown spend their free time helping out.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot of science to it. We do a lot of pH readings, refractometers for checking how much sugar we extracted from the beer.
It can take up to 3 to 4 weeks.
Each beer is unique. Its ingredients are unique. The way it needs to be handled is unique, and the way it tastes is unique.
People have come in and thanked us for bringing something like this. They come in on a weekly basis, and I think they're enjoying getting to try some different types of beer that they're maybe not used to getting at the local bar.
Like a Bridgewater Blonde,
which is a nice 6.5% easy drinking blonde ale. A little bit more on the sweet and malty side than the hoppy side. It's one of our #1 sellers every week. And it was fun to be able to name the beer after the town, too.
There's also an amber ale, imperial stout, and Bridgewater triple, each with its own unique spin.
We have a number of different recipes, about 10 right now, and we're working on developing maybe a couple more.
Recipes have included vanilla bean, bourbon-soaked cherries, and fresh coffee beans roasted right down the street.
Mike Shea has a roastery over on First Street in Bridgewater, and we make an imperial coffee stout. And it's brewed with 3 pounds of freshly roasted whole coffee beans that we coarse crush here, and it really, really brings out this marvelous coffee flavor in our stout.
Which also features a subtle hint of chili peppers.
Feel a little tingle on the back side of your tongue. It's something very subtle. But it just adds just a little something extra.
If you're noticing a local theme, that's how it's done here, from the beer to the furnishings, like this custom-made bar from Copeland Lumber in Marshfield.
They cut this bar out of one complete tree, leaving one natural edge and one hard edge. And we think it adds a little bit of something special.
Yeah, it's kind of a local flavor to the whole establishment.
We try and do as much local as possible.
Another way Black Hat sets itself apart from the rest? By using water from the oldest bottling plant in America.
As far as I know, at this point, we're probably one of the few, or maybe one of the only breweries that don't filter tap water. We actually go out and we purchase our water.
Everything pretty much starts with the water. The water that we get from Simpson Springs, they're kind enough to provide a sheet that tells us how much sodium, magnesium, the different chemicals are already in the water. Because different beers require different chemical profiles, so we can actually modify the profile of the water before we actually start making beer with it. You have somebody come and taste your beer, you want that person to come back a month from that time and have that same beer, and it should taste the same.
Whatever their process, it sure is working. A month after opening, and demand is still high.
We really didn't know what to expect when we started. We're now up to 8 kegs a week, and before the summer comes, we're going to bring that up to 12. We do hope to get into some local bars and restaurants.
Other big plans may even include a brew fest this summer.
That's, it's what we love about this town is they want to bring new things, and we want to bring people here. We love being a part of the town, so we want to do our part to bring, commerce from other towns to Bridgewater.
For Bridgewater This Week, I'm Alicia Fortin.
And now Will McKettrick is our head brewer.
I met Will on the way in here.
Yeah, and our vice president of operations here at Black Hat. So
Yeah, he was talking about taking some of the beer and bringing it into the other tank on the right side over there.
Yep.
So, so what got you into the brewery business? Before you answer that question, I remember when it became a fad, and I had a buddy said you got to get some stuff, and they came to my house one Saturday morning, and my wife said that's the last time you're going to be doing that. It was a mess everywhere.
yes.
So
yes.
tell me how you got into it.
That's it. I worked in the food industry for 18 years, building USDA facilities.
Yeah.
Companies like Tyson, Nestle, Purdue, Smuckers. And we had a great close-knit group at the company I worked for. And we decided we were going to go up to this brew on premises in Shrewsbury, Mass. Called Deja Brew, where they have all the ingredients, they have the kettles, they have the recipes. You go up, they teach you how to brew.
Yeah.
You and your friends can get on a kettle, make your own beer.
Yeah.
And a couple weeks later, you take it home and pass it out to your friends and brag about, how you made this beer. And we started.
Did it work? Did it work?
It was a great place.
Yeah.
We made a ton of different beers. I won't say they all came out great.
Yeah.
Certainly learning experiences. We did that for almost 3 years. This same group of 6 people, got together about every 6 months and did this.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was a fun thing between buddies.
Yeah.
But the brewery industry really did take off. And at the time, I was traveling quite a bit. I was traveling all over the world, bringing equipment in from other countries, building giant facilities. And it was a lot. It was a lot of travel, a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I recently, my daughter was born, and my time away from home became not so fun anymore. And I really wanted to try and find something to get me off the road and back,
Yeah.
home and sleeping in my bed and being in my house every night. And
So you got into the brewery business.
passion for brewing.
How did you land in Bridgewater?
That was a tough one. When we first, in 2014, we started our exploratory endeavors into where we could possibly go. And we visited a number of different towns, had meetings.
This is when it's all cranking up. A lot of breweries are coming online, kind of thing.
At the time, just on the South Shore of Massachusetts, at the time, there were 5 breweries in operation.
Okay. So not really started.
Yep.
Yeah.
Today, there's 26. So it tells you in 9 years, we've gone from 4 or 5 to 26. We started going town to town. Some towns flat out told us we're not interested. And we thought, okay. Later in the years, those same towns came back to us and asked us if we wanted to move to their town and open another location. So things changed a lot.
So when you went into a town, who'd you go see?
First thing we would do was call the licensing authority in the town.
Okay.
And so, for example, we called Bridgewater, and we said we'd love to sit down with the folks, the people, the powers that be. We had a meeting with the town manager. It was Michael Dutton at the time.
Yeah.
We had a meeting with, it was a town manager, police, fire, building inspection, and licensing.
Good.
And we all sat down around a table. We spelled out a plan, our vision for what we wanted to do, which was build a brewery and a taproom that could serve the community and do, a lot of community involved events. And the town of Bridgewater was open arms.
Great.
We'd love to have you. We think this is an awesome idea. This would be a fun thing to have in our town. We couldn't have gotten a more warm welcome from the folks here. And we hooked up with the owners of this building, Bob Iafredi and Tom Graziano,
Sure. Yeah.
who are both
Building inspector.
lifelong.
Yeah, former building inspector.
Bob is the building inspector in Raynham.
Raynham, yeah.
He was here in Bridgewater for a while. He's on a number of committees here.
Right.
He's a Bridgewater guy through and through. And Tom Graziano, who owns Graziano Ready Mix, again, Bridgewater guy. All their families, and we were the very first tenant here in this building.
Correct. So when you say we, do you have a board of directors, or are you the owner? Or what's your? You're the owner.
Myself and my wife are the owners.
Yeah, Will McKettrick. You mentioned.
Will McKettrick.
I met Kerry.
Yep. Who's our head brewer and VP of Ops.
Yeah.
And then we have a few bartenders.
Correct.
That work here throughout the week. John, Allison, and Jillian are our bartenders.
Yeah.
So no, we're a very small family here. We're a very small family.
When you said we, I was wondering, if you had some kind of corporate structure or something.
No, nothing crazy. I don't
Keep it simple.
Yeah, but we like to involve. We have a lot of great regular customers that have become part of our Black Hat family over the years, and they're very talented and skilled individuals that we trust a lot, and they help in many different ways. Here, where we're a very small group. Sometimes you need that extra help, and we have been lucky enough to just form some great relationships with people that are always willing to come help out in any way, shape, or form that we need.
Well, along those lines, we talking to Al earlier. You work with Al you're on the foundation.
The Fire for Effect Foundation is our veterans nonprofit here in Bridgewater. It was started by Al Lacerda, who is works for BTV as well.
And you're on the foundation.
I was asked to come on to the foundation. I started working with them and being involved in their events, and I really liked what they did. I'm an Eagle Scout from Troop 5 Brockton.
Yeah.
Very proud of that. Community service has always been a big thing in my life.
You're involved in something else that my wife is involved with in town, and you've helped that group as well. I forget the name.
Sure.
But you've been very helpful.
They
kind of nice. You believe in your community.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
A vacancy came up at Fire for Effect Foundation when their vice president actually took a selectman position in another town and didn't have the ability to be the VP anymore. And I was asked to join, and I was very happy to do so.
Yeah. So let's take a left and let's talk about the product a little bit.
Sure.
How do you get people in here? You got to have a good product.
That is
We have some cans here, but tell a little bit about how you come about, deciding on what's good, or the people tell you, or they enjoy it, or you just go by sales. What makes it tick? How does it tick?
Lots of things. Experience is the number one thing. We purchased a small machine that was very process oriented. It's a very process oriented business. We're a manufacturing company. First and foremost, that's what we do. We manufacture a product from raw material. Our raw material happens to be grain, hops, yeast, sometimes different fruits depending on the beer.
Yeah.
We brewed in a small shed in Norton for 3 years on this machine, developing a process, developing recipes that could be duplicated no matter what time of year, that would always taste the same. And so consistency,
a lot of work. Yeah.
Consistency is key. People want to come in, and if they fall in love with a product, they want that same product over and over and over again. And so consistency is huge. And we tried to work on recipe development at that stage. But once we moved here and we opened the business, we continued to work on recipe development right up until we went up to our 500 gallon or 15 barrel brew system.
Yeah.
We try to get as much education behind us, as much knowledge behind us.
With the equipment, you mean?
Yep.
Making sure the equipment's reliable to what you're trying.
But doing it on a small scale.
Yeah.
Now that we have a large scale, we can produce and we can hold about 8,000 gallons of liquid here in this building. And
finished product?
Finished product, yep.
Wow.
And we distribute that in Bristol, Norfolk, Plymouth, Barnstable, Dukes, the islands, and just recently into Boston.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So you have you sell it to distributors.
Yep.
And they take it out on the road.
Correct. Quality Beverage is one of our distributors,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
L Knife and Son
Yeah.
is our other distributor.
Yeah.
And so they place orders with us for liquor stores, bars. We fulfill those orders. They come with their trucks, pick everything up. Their sales force takes it out, sells it, delivers it. And it's a great way to get our product
Yeah,
out.
not all breweries do that. Not all local brewers work with distributors. Is that true?
That is true. Distribution is an interesting thing. Massachusetts law has changed in the 9 years we've been here. In fact, I owned a distribution company for 3 years called Liberated Beverage Distribution, and we distributed for 4 other small breweries as well as ourselves. And so I've done that, and I've worn all those hats, and it's hard.
That's a hard job.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
It takes your focus off what you're doing.
correct. And there was a point where I needed to refocus, and so
Yeah.
I got out of that distribution company, and we hired 2 other distribution companies to come and take our product on for us.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
So I was talking to Will earlier, and he was talking about some of the process here. So you have, you just go through it quick. You got a hops, gets in the air in the masher and goes to the,
Yeah, so it all starts with the grain,
yeah,
and in the mash tun. We're putting grain and water. We're extracting sugars from the grain,
yeah,
and we're extracting color from the grain that will make its way into the final product. So if we wanted a darker beer, we would use a more highly kilned malt or a black malt to give it that color. If we wanted a lighter beer, we use very lightly kilned malts.
Okay.
And so from the mash tun, there's a process of extracting those sugars, moving that liquid over to our boil kettle. Then we rinse all that grain and get any residual sugars off of those.
Wow.
Add that to the boil kettle. And now we bring everything up to a boil, 212 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's at that point in the process where we add our hops, our initial hops. Bittering happens at the beginning of the boil. And our whirlpool hops, or flavoring hops, happens at the end. Once that boil is complete, we then transfer that liquid through a chiller. We take it from 212 degrees to 68 degrees in a very quick step into a fermenter.
And that's what he was doing this morning.
That's what we're doing
Putting
right
it in
now.
that fermenter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
As we speak, we're transferring about 450 gallons of liquid.
How long does it sit in the fermenter?
For an ale, typically about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Wow.
For a lager, it will ferment for 2 weeks, but then we lager it. We drop the temperature on that, and it sits for another 4 to 6 weeks so that it gets...
In that tank?
Yep.
So that must slow down your production if something's sitting in the tank. You can't add to it. You can't keep going.
It can, and that's why we have so many tanks.
Okay.
Because we like to have a variety. We love our standard, our IPAs, our blonde ale, which is our Bridgewater Blonde is one of our
I'm
biggest
kind
brewers.
of an ale guy, blonde ale.
But lagers have had this great resurgence.
Oh yeah.
And a great Pilsner.
Do you sell like those flights where people can taste?
We do not.
No, I'm just curious because sometimes you get tired of people saying, "What's it taste like?"
Well, what we do is we offer half pours.
Oh,
so we offer a full pour or a half pour. We don't believe in 5 beers on a wooden paddle that A, you have to maneuver through the crowd with, but B, you sit down.
You got to wash all the glasses.
You want to enjoy that beer for what it is.
Yeah.
And not drink it so fast, but by the time you get to that last glass on that paddle, it's warm.
Yeah.
The head of it is gone.
Yeah.
So we like to do 2 half pours at a time. We don't mind.
Cool.
We don't mind the step of pouring an extra beer for somebody, as long as they get that beer and it tastes the way we want them to taste it.
Yeah. Good.
So we do the half pours, so you can sample 6 ounce,
Correct.
of any beer that we have on the board.
I was curious. We were talking earlier before the show, and what do you do with the waste product? I assume there's all that hops and that barley has to go somewhere.
Great question. Our grain, when we are finished brewing, gets put into a large bin, and we partner up with Walnut Farm on Manley Street in Brockton. They're in West Bridgewater on the Brockton line.
I know where they are. Yeah.
Great family. great farm. And Black Hat is just one of the breweries that work with them to get them our spent grain.
Yeah.
One of our other outlets for spent
Now, wait a
grain,
second. What do they do with it?
they feed the cows.
Okay, I was going to say.
They feed the
The cows get to eat it.
One of our other
They like it?
outlets,
The cows like
they
it?
love it. They love it. It's and the farmers love it, and we love it. Feed for animals is very
Oh,
expensive.
yeah. Right.
And grain, once it comes out of our mash tun, if it sits too long, it gets sour.
Yeah.
It gets smelly, and it's not something that we want hanging around. We're not trying to attract, flies or fruit flies or anything like that.
Right.
So the farmer comes, picks it up, it gets it out of here.
Yeah.
He's getting feed for his animals for nothing.
Yeah.
And so it's this beautiful, sustainable network.
That's great. That's great.
Another local business here in Bridgewater is a company called Whoopie Biscuits. And a woman named Jean Rubo started Whoopie Biscuits.
Dog biscuits?
Dog biscuits. And so Jean comes and takes 20 pounds of grain. She'll mix that with all natural ingredients, peanut butter, flour,
Yeah.
eggs, and she makes Whoopie Biscuits.
Where is she?
She's right here in Bridgewater.
Wow.
It's right here in Bridgewater.
Jeez, we got a dog at home. I got to have to get some wood.
And so, we've been selling Whoopie Biscuits here.
Oh, do you?
At Black Hat since she started her business. And we're dog friendly here at Black Hat.
Oh, wow.
So we are dog friendly inside and out. As long as dogs are on leash. We have water bowls. We have treats.
That's a great idea. That's a
So
great
people
idea.
can come with their
Today, so many people have dogs, and they don't really want to leave it at home, because they like having the dog with them. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to jump because now we're talking about the retail side,
Okay.
and there's two things I want to talk about. So right now, I'm looking at some of the indoor seating, and out here you have an outdoor pavilion or a patio.
Yep.
And Carrie was taking down some chairs, and she told me another tent's going up in a week.
Yes.
A couple of weeks.
Yes. Our annual November is a lot of things. The day before Thanksgiving
Yeah.
is one of the biggest homecoming days for people of the year.
Right.
People are coming from out of town.
Should we come here that
coming
time?
home, and we throw a giant party here at Black Hat.
Oh, wow.
And the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, we've coined as Black Hat Friday, and that's our anniversary. We'll turn 9 years old.
You're right. Right.
So we started with the idea of
You told me
putting
earlier
the
that
tent
you wore a black hat in high school,
Yep.
and you were known for the black hat.
always,
That was
always.
a great story.
Yeah, but just
So the day before Thanksgiving,
to be able to have people come in and celebrate our anniversary with us. Our tap room is very small, which we're in the process of changing, and we can probably talk about that a little bit. But in order to get people and to have a great anniversary party, we decided to rent a giant heated tent. So it's a 20 by 60 heated
I'm
tent.
coming. I'm coming the day after
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
It's a fun day.
I'm going to bring my wife, my daughter with the dog, and another daughter. She got a cat. Cat can't come, but so that's so you look. Do you have a lot of experience with that side of the retail side of the business, or you've learned over the 9 years what works and
As far as running a bar, no, I've never had any experience running a bar.
But you have
before.
entertainment,
That's all developed over the years.
Yeah.
When we first opened, there were no tables or no seats. You could
just these growlers.
you could come in, you could get your growlers. We didn't even can back when we first opened. Canning came along years later. Tables and chairs obviously worked their way into the tap room, and the outside patio was put on during COVID. We
That's right.
were permitted to license the extension of the patio to allow for proper spacing of people, and the town was very nice to allow us to continue that operation. So they gave us a permanent license for the extended patio area, which is where we put our stage and a lot of our tables and chairs. And because of that, because we have that extra room, and because we did then decide to get a license to have live music and a stage, we were lucky enough, as we were friends with the folks from Bridgewater's Music Alley, when they were going through construction in town, and they couldn't have their concerts that were already scheduled, they came to us and asked if we would host, and we were thrilled. Music Alley is a wonderful organization.
Oh, that's a great thing. Yeah, and you helped them out.
And vice versa. All of a sudden, when it was here, they went from having 75 people coming out to see some amazing musicians, artists, local performers.
Yeah.
We were averaging 150 people.
Wow.
With a food truck.
Yeah.
The 2 bands that would come.
Same night, Monday. No, it wasn't Monday night.
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Yep.
They,
and so we started with them.
Yeah.
We just finished our 2nd season with Music Alley.
That's great.
And we're very much looking forward to our 3rd season.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great because
they bring musical talent to Bridgewater that would never even consider coming to this town due to lack of venues.
Correct.
They go out and they find these talented individuals. We had 9 New England Music Award nominated artists perform here in Bridgewater this past summer.
That's great. Geez, I feel bad I didn't support it. So we're running out. We're getting near the end here. So let's talk. Tell the audience real quick about your expansion and what you have planned coming soon.
Sure. This is we haven't really officially announced it, so I guess this is the official announcement.
Okay. I didn't want to put you on the spot.
No. It's great. We're in the process right now. We have acquired the bay next door to us, and we are going to utilize that to be a much larger tap room. Right now, our tap room can
meaning not that room back there.
This is our tap room.
Tap room.
So in the wintertime, when it's cold, we can usually only fit about 30 people.
Gets tight.
It gets very tight when it's cold outside or it's raining. The new tap room will be able to hold 100 people.
So this moves over there, and you use this for more
add production
space. In here.
Yep. Yeah. So it helps us bring in a couple more tanks, so we can go after a few more accounts. Maybe push our beer a little bit farther than we have, recently. So it's a great opportunity. Our landlords, again, fantastic for allowing us to do.
That's doubling your space.
Doubling our space,
I guess. Yeah.
And there's a lot of customization that goes into what we do that a lot of landlords would look at and go, But
what are you going to do to my building?
Our landlords have been nothing but supportive to us.
And that's important because a landlord can kill it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've seen it happen with many businesses.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
But no.
They don't like what you're doing, and they're, what are you doing with that stuff back there? And
no, our landlords have supported us from day one. Their families support us. They come in here. They come to our events. They tell all their friends. We couldn't ask for a better place to be. So with the expansion, we've just signed a new lease. So plan on Black Hat being around here for quite some time.
Oh, and the 9th anniversary is Friday.
9th anniversary is Black Hat Friday.
Black Hat Friday, the day after Thanksgiving.
29th of
What time?
November.
What time you're going to be open?
Noon to 10.
Noon to 10. Okay, so we'll put that on the calendar.
Live music and food trucks all day.
9 years, celebrating 9 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So we'll be very excited when 10 rolls around and we get to celebrate it in the new tap room.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that as well. So you've done a great job, and
thank you.
I have been in here. I have tasted that. As I say, my wife brought me in here. She's not known to bring me to bars. Usually, I'll take care of it. So congratulations on all your hard work, and that's what it is. You started with nothing, but hard work, and you put it into this operation now.
And support from our community.
Yeah, there you go.
We try to support the community, and the community turns around and supports us back, and it's a wonderful thing.
Well, a shout out to the Bridgewater Cable TV,
BTV,
Al, John, Jeff, Brendan. They brought all this down here, so what a team. That's great. Thank you, Paul, for being on the Callahan Connection.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Pleasure.